Welcome back to the States. Now it's time for America's Talking, with headlines from across the country that you can find in the description below or in your inbox with the Center Square newsletter, free at thecentersquare.com. An Arizona federal judge denied a temporary restraining order to block part of a state law that allows Arizona to protect its borders with Mexico. The American Civil Liberties Union and the Florence Immigrant and Refugee Rights Project sued the state earlier this month, challenging a portion of Proposition 314, also known as Arizona's Secure the Border Act. The Center Square contributor Zachary Schmidt reports the suit was filed in the U.S. District Court of Arizona, and Arizona voters passed Proposition 314 by nearly 63% in 2024. The proposition gives Arizona more legal tools and authority to defend its border against illegal immigrants, as well as increased penalties for fentanyl traffickers whose crimes result in deaths. The measure also added eligibility checks for special public benefits. The lawsuit challenged Section 5 of the proposition, which creates a crime of illegal entry into Arizona, as well as allows local and state law enforcement, when probable cause exists, to arrest suspected illegal immigrants entering Arizona outside a lawful port of entry. As Governor Josh Shapiro makes his rounds across the Commonwealth promoting the $50.8 billion state budget he signed into law earlier this month, his Republican challenger is voicing her opposition. State Treasurer Stacey Garrity said in response to a question from the Center Square this week that the budget was, quote, too much money. Garrity, who was elected in a second term as the state's treasurer, said there's still a structural deficit of $4.8 to $5 billion a year. Citing the tax burden Pennsylvanians face, Garrity believes the state can't afford it. She said, quote, we expect families to spend within their means, and our state should be doing the same thing. While that budget was the fifth in a row signed past the constitutionally mandated deadline, it was also the fourth signed in bipartisan fashion since Shapiro took office. New York Governor Kathy Hochul is urging the dairy industry, dairy industry is urging New York Governor Kathy Hochul to veto a bill that would ban food additives, amid claims that it would drive up the cost of groceries. The Center Square contributor Chris Wade reports the International Dairy Foods Association said in a letter to Hochul that New York's Food Safety and Chemical Disclosure Act, which was approved by lawmakers during the recent session, would increase food prices for consumers, thwart innovation in the dairy industry, and ultimately place a significant regulatory and financial burden not only on the industry, but also on the state. The legislation, if approved, would prohibit the use of several harmful substances as food additives or colorful additives in that manufacturing process and commercial distribution of food products, and it would require companies to disclose their secret, generally recognized as safe ingredients to the public. And a bill to enact more legislative oversight of California's next-gen 911 system will be implemented as part of the state's budget this year, according to one lawmaker. The Center Square California reporter Madeline Shannon reports Assembly member Rhodesia Ransom announced that provisions of Assembly Bill 1805, which she authored, will be implemented as part of the budget instead of being considered a separate legislation. The legislature approved the state's $350 billion budget in June, and Governor Gavin Newsom signed it. But lawmakers can still make revisions. Assembly Bill 1805's oversight and accountability measure will be added as line items in the state's budget and would take effect immediately once the Democratic governor signed those items into law, according to Ransom. Now, Newsom hasn't said whether he would sign them. The provisions of Ransom's bill that would be included in the budget are requirements that the California Office of Emergency Services, which oversees the rollout of the next-gen 911 system, to submit quarterly reports detailing progress. And that's just some of what America is talking about. You can get these and other headlines at thecentersquare.com. From my studios in Central Illinois, I'm Greg Bishop, and join us back here Thursday for more stories impacting you, the taxpayer, from all around the country, only with the States, powered by the Center Square.